Alright, we're back with another episode of the ZX14. Now some of y'all might be wondering why I put H2 in the description. But that's mainly going to be my motivation towards this bike. I'm basically going to turn it into a street drag bike. And I want to put a nitrous system on here, which is not something I'm going to be hiding. Just going to turn it basically into a street / drag bike, leaning more towards the drag side than the street. Although it is still going to be street legal, still going to keep the headlights and tail lights and everything like that. But the H2 is going to be the main motivation towards getting this bike completed. And what I'm going to do is basically use this to compete against the boosted bikes, the nitrous bikes, and like built motorbikes basically. But the good thing about nitrous is that you can turn it off when you don't need it, so it'll still be able to compete with stock motorbikes and things of that nature. But I am going to put a nice shot on this bad boy and get it basically set up for drag racing. And the H2s usually are pretty fast whenever they are set up well. So that's basically what I'm going to be building this bike for, to basically compete with his big brother. So that's going to be the main point of attack with this bike. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive back into it. Alright, got the gas tank off. It's a big bike, man. Yeah, a little bit of gas came out, wasn't much. I'm gonna go ahead and continue going forward. But everything else looks good. So far so good, so this shouldn't be too hard to get this bad boy back up and running. Alright, I just took these little plates off here, which expose the velocity stacks and the air filter you can see over here. I'm assuming this little slot right here is what how you get the air filter in and out, because this air box is built into the frame. It's kind of interesting. So this is going to be a pretty fun project, figuring out all of this. This is a little different than what I'm used to. But I'm going to put those plates back on there, since I don't want no dirt and everything else falling in there. I'm gonna have to figure out this little maze in here. There's a lot going on up in here, man. And this is my first time working on a ZX14, so everything that I'm doing, I'm just doing on the fly. I have no idea how any of this crap work. Like with those fairings, it took me a while to figure out. I guess I could have just looked up how to remove ZX14 fairings, but sometimes I don't feel like just doing all that crap. Usually you can learn. You usually learn the most when you dive into it yourself anyway. Not that I'm recommending you just not look stuff up, because there's a lot of information out there on these bikes. It's just for me personally, I just like to jump into it. Now if I get snagged on something and can't figure it out, then yes, I'm gonna go look it up. But most of this stuff is, all bikes are pretty much the same. It's just usually just different designs, but for the most part it's the same. If you can work on one bike, you normally can work on another. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna put these plates back on here and figure out what the next move gonna be. I still haven't decided what wheels I'm gonna put on here yet. I know I'm gonna get rid of the stock wheels, because I know those are pretty heavy, and I'm gonna try to get this bike as light as I possibly can. But yeah, stay tuned for the next episode.